This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Thank you, Sphere Rocket VA, for bringing us another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and today we're talking to Peter. Peter, thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me this morning.
Of course. So, let's talk about you. Where are you located, and what market do you serve, and how did you get into real estate?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I'm up here in Anchorage, Alaska. We are the far north, so it's still morning time up here for a lot of us. But yeah, so long story on me, but I was a firefighter paramedic for many years, working as a flight paramedic, and was buying a lot of real estate and owning fourplexes, doing flips and things like that. And I finally said, why am I paying someone else to do this for me? I want to go to school and figure it out. So I did, kind of as just a hobby on the side, and then all the requests started coming in like, hey, can you sell my house? Can you do this for me? And so one thing led to another. I did it part-time for about a year. I was at Keller Williams, and then it just exploded. And so I finally made the decision to retire doing the paramedic stuff and jumped full-time into real estate, and it's been crazy ever since. So it's great.
That's awesome. What a cool journey, going from investing to I'm going to do this myself.
Yeah, I was like, I can do this. It's just cool.
You can. And you have. And you've done really well. You're an Icon agent.
Yeah.
So did you always work with EXP, or what was your first brokerage? How'd you come across EXP?
Yeah, so I actually started out at Keller Williams, which is kind of, the typical story for EXP agents, and was there for about 2 years. And then EXP was newer forming in Alaska here in 2017. And so very early, I was like the 19th agent to join in Alaska. And so it was pretty cool. I'm like in the OG club here for Anchorage. And so we joined in the beginning of 2018, and just I was looking for something different, I was full-time into real estate, just getting started, and said, it's time for a fresh start. And if I'm going to do this full-time, I want to pick my brokerage instead of going to kind of where a friend or two recommended. And it was very attractive, the opportunities that EXP offered at the time. And little did I know that it was going to turn into this monster, 70,000 agent company, and our stocks would be so amazing and all the opportunity. But
right.
Yeah.
I love it. It's turned into, like you said, a monster, attracting so many agents, fastest growing real estate company. Now, you said that you saw a lot of people, jumping on the bandwagon, you liked it, but what keeps you at EXP? We've got so many great assets like, revenue shares, stock options, collaboration. Yeah. What have you really fallen in love with over here?
Yeah, I tell you, we've, at first, and this started when I was at KW, I love the idea, and I've always had the entrepreneur spirit, but I love the idea of the revenue share. And that was something that was attractive that I kind of dabbled in a little bit at Keller Williams with, sponsoring newer agents. And I'm like, if I can learn it, you can learn it. And so I'd, get other agents that were always talk about real estate. So I'd get them into it, get them licensed. So that was a really big piece coming to EXP, and I did pretty well with it. We started a small team. I've got, about 7 or 8 people that I've sponsored over, but so that's been an amazing opportunity. And it's really cool to see that the revenue share versus profit share, like how that actually works. And I remember I got my first check when it was the profit share at KW, and it was like, I was so excited. I got my first agent, sponsored him on. He sold like this $400,000 house, and I got a check for like $5.36. I was like,
oh no!
I was like, this is it. This is what all that work is for. I was
like, wow, great.
This sucks. So
yeah.
No, it's cool coming over and seeing the model and the differences of what Glenn and them have established with revenue share. And I mean, the passive income model is just amazing. So it's a cool way to look at it and say, if I don't want to be out there hustling and selling houses every day for the next 20 years, what other revenue streams are there? If I'm going to invest myself 100% into this, like I want it to be, 15, 20-year thing, not just, yeah, I sold real estate for 7 or 8 years. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
So yeah, revenue share, our stock options, things like that were very attractive. I think the stock, I mean, I was playing around with penny stocks back in the day and doing different tradings and things. And who would have thought that our stock would have just exploded? But I think I caught on that there was a new vision and something kind of new, and it wasn't your traditional brokerage model. And I mean, this is still early on in the company, but EXP was already around for a little bit in 2018, but it was still like, well, this is refreshing. Like, this is new. I could see the industry going this way. And I remember telling myself, like, I don't want to be 5 or 6 years from now and be like, I wish I would have done that, And I had nothing to really lose. So I was like, let's go for it. And man, it's been awesome to see the growth and actually a lot of that come true.
I love that. Absolutely. Well, Peter, you're a busy guy and, you're into investing and you're looking this way and being pulled in that direction. So, what do you do to take care of Peter? What do you make sure what do you need to do like to avoid burnout mode and that work-life balance and everything else?
No, it's and that's where this last year was really a big change of season for us. So I was a solo agent all the way up until about February last year. And so in 2020, I did almost 80 transactions by myself.
Wow.
And about $26 million. And it was exhausting. I mean, it's like you just work. That's all I did. And had just gotten married. And my wife I met through real estate. She was a realtor for a while, but was working at a different office job at the time. And so she was my biggest support, and she knew the industry. She knew the stresses, and you just have to work like 24/7. And so I did. And we did really well. And I said, okay, I can't do that again. And so I created a team. We have 2 other agents, buyer's agents. We have a virtual assistant in the Philippines. And
Awesome.
That's been kind of my way to say, okay, we're still going to run a really fast, progressive business and team, but I don't have to do it all. And I'm going to step back and enjoy my, family time a little bit. And so, we've done that where we allot different weekends off and go fishing or camping and different things like that. In Alaska, we're real big into the outdoors here. So hunting, fishing, boating, like all that, it's like summertime hits and you have 4 months to enjoy life. So you just got to go for it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, the outdoors there. I mean, what else is there to do in Alaska, right?
Oh, like in the wintertime, skiing, all the winter activities is big. But in the summertime, some people know this, but we get sunlight for pretty much 24 hours a day. Like, it doesn't get dark here. Yeah, so you get it's dusky in June, July, but not really. Like, it could be 4 a.m. and you don't use your headlights in your car. And so it's like everyone says you kind of hibernate in the wintertime and you look forward to playing all summer and just kind of living as fast and as much as you can, get it all in.
That's so cool. I've always wanted to experience that whole it doesn't get dark.
It's different. It throws you off and we're finally right now into what I would call normal life, where the sun comes up and goes down at reasonable times. But in the winter, it really screws with you because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's dark outside. What is going on?
Yeah, I don't know if my
pros and cons. Yeah, there's definitely good aspects of it, and then you pay for it in December.
Maybe I'll be like a Alaskan version of a Florida snowbird. I'll just come for the long summers. And
it is so popular. I tell you, we all go to Hawaii. You got to go to Hawaii in December, January timeframe to get some sanity back.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Holy smokes. Talk about being it's almost like cabin fever, right?
Yeah,
I'm stuck here.
It's a real thing. I mean, it's a real thing for sure.
No, I believe it. Well, Peter, thank you for sharing a little bit about your personal life. Now let's talk about, you being an icon agent. What does the Icon Award mean to you? What benefits did it bring to you? And, in your own words, what is the Icon Award?
Yeah, so it was pretty cool when Icon, well, as soon as I came over and I learned about Icon, I was like, I want to do that. I want, that's my goal. Like, I'm a goal person. So I set that as a goal my first year. And I said, I'm gonna work really hard to achieve this, and didn't really know what it was like. And so I was the 18th person. There was literally like 20 of us at EXP at that time.
Wow.
And one other guy hit Icon, and he was like, he's like the godfather for Alaska. Like, he's the first guy that came over to EXP in Alaska, and he hit it and was like, dude, this is awesome. Like, you got to get on board with this program. He's like, you just got to hustle. And so I'm out there like, okay, I got to get my post-closing transactions. I got to cap. I got to do this. And so I hit it. And then it's like, wow, the benefit was amazing. You hit it and you're like, well, now what? And then kind of realize that through that process, like, you kind of, the Icon, really what it is you're kind of the mentor for the market center. So then everyone would come to Travis and I and be like, hey, got a question for you about EXP. Hey, tell me this. Hey, how do you do SkySlope? How do you work in this? And so you kind of become I guess, the person within the company, like the mentor. And then that's really what I see the program for. I think when Glenn envisioned it, it was to create this 1% club, like these people that are top achievers, who then, the reason why they have not just the production requirements, but also the core requirements and the business is so that you're giving back, that you're helping those newer agents and mentoring and doing those things. And it kind of came naturally for us here because we're newer, and EXP was newer to Alaska, and so there was only 2 of us. It was pretty cool, and I've been fortunate. I've hit it every year since then. So we're on our 4th one now. So I'm about to reset because it goes off our cap year. So I'm a May 1st cap is when I guess my fiscal year starts, and so we'll be going for it again here this summer. But yeah, it's a cool program. We've really used it up here and leveraged it. So we have about 6 to 7 icons in the state at a time, and we are usually the ones. We have an EXP like community program, I guess, like leadership group. So not that we oversee the brokerage, but anytime there's new agents coming in and stuff, we kind of review that and have a little bit of weigh in on it, and then a lot of us are in the mentorship program. So as we get newer agents that are unexperienced or it's been a while, we kind of handle that as a mentor program too. And so it's just a good way to try to like encourage and set like a really good path for new agents with EXP. And like, here's how we roll in Alaska, and like, this is the standard, and we're going to help you along the way.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's really cool. And, you said, as a first year, you saw it and you were like, I'm going for that.
yeah.
So the newbies that are watching right now, they may be, first year in real estate or just first year with EXP. What's some advice you would have for them for obtaining or, reaching for that Icon Award within their first year? Is it obtainable?
It is. Yeah, absolutely. I had a conversation with a newer agent a couple months ago, and the biggest advice I could give new agents specifically towards the Icon program is don't limit yourself. It's funny, we had a kind of a holiday party here for EXP in January, and I was a part of the awards committee. And so we had an award we gave out, the person that sold the most expensive home in 2021, which is, pretty typical award. It was pretty cool. And then for fun, I said, hey, let's have an award for who sold the cheapest transaction, the least expensive, just to include them, not making fun, but like, let's have fun with it. And it ended up being the same person. And which was completely to our surprise. We're like, well, that's really encouraging. So this person sold a, $1.8 million home, but then he also sold a $26,000 piece of property.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my advice. Like, don't limit yourself. The way to Icon is to cap. And so if you're really focused on that, I would say early on when you reset your fiscal time or like your cap period, focus on capping. Get the biggest volume you can, make those transactions count. And then after that, you need $5,000 in post cap fees. I mean, you're really looking at like 20 transactions. Go sell that $26,000 piece of property. Like, make it count. I was out there hustling. I was like, you want $100,000 condo? Let's do it. And so, it's just it's a numbers thing. But you look at the benefit of roughly doing about, it depends on your market, but 30 to 35 transactions, and you can hit icon. And that's a lot of volume, but it's really not completely unrealistic if you're out there just going after anything you're given. But if you limit yourself to just doing, 500,000 and up, or, I'm only going to do, single family homes, I'm not going to do condos, stuff like that, then it's going to be a really tough process.
You're so right. You're so right. Well, that brings me to my, last question. And you were one of the OGs in Alaska for EXP, but I'm sure at some point you had caught wind of this EXP brokerage, and you were a little skeptical, not wanting to, make the switch because changing brokerages is tough.
Yeah.
What would you have to say to somebody that's on the fence? They see the grass is greener, but they're nervous, they're scared.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that's it's a great question, because at first I was like, oh man, there's like 18 people there. This is a little bitty brokerage. What is EXP? I think at that time when I was contemplating it, there was I think we had like 11,000 or 10,000 agents. It's a lot, but nationally you look at it, you're like, it's not that big.
Right.
And I was skeptical. I'm like, am I going to join this up and then it shut down and then have to fight to get back into a brokerage and hang my license to operate? Thank God we're nowhere near that anymore. I'd say EXP is not even in that category at all anymore. But people also have, I think right now, what I see a lot is people have this, well, that train's already gone. The good old days of EXP, you're in that club where the stock, was $6 a share when you joined on. And, it's not that good anymore. And so the train's already left the station. And I would say it's definitely not the case. EXP is growing so fast, and the technology and everything that we have is so far beyond our competition that you really should sit down and say, as industries progress, as technology progresses, what do you think real estate's going to be like in 10 years? And I can guarantee you, from what I've seen, my personal opinion, there's no way on earth that we're going to be paying desk fees and brokerage fees for fax machines and printers and office space. It's just not going to happen. And if COVID didn't prove that in the last 2 years with everyone working from home, then you're going to miss the train regardless,
Sure, yeah.
So that's really the thing to think about is it's not oh, I missed the good old days. What's new? And I know there's other brokerages out there that are kind of the spin-off of us, and their whole claim to fame is we're EXP, redefined, and we're still cheap. Our stock is still really good. So you'll be where EXP is in 5 years. And that's a good sales pitch. But I think really look at the core. I think the biggest thing I looked at is, what does EXP represent? And if stock is your, main focus, what does the stock represent, the EXPI ticker? It's not just EXP selling real estate transactions. They're not just, we're not profitable based on just the volume I sell, but it's all the technology, all the things, Success Magazine, all the stuff that we have under it that really makes EXP, as far as stocks, what they are. And if you look at that and say, could that be a new Tesla or Apple or something like that? I mean, the opportunity is huge. It's crazy. And so I think you already hear talks of KW and other companies working on their tech platforms and trying to do things to try to elevate themselves and kind of compete. And I think it's just a matter of time before the industry changes. And I think EXP is kind of in that forefront, and they're the ones we're kind of pushing and making everyone do that. Here on the local side, for sure, there's small brokerages that are brick and mortar that don't have any technology, and they're like, EXP is killing us. Right. So that's the thing to look at. Look at what the future is going to be. The way we sold real estate back in the day is so different. Everything is virtual technology based now. People don't even look at homes anymore. At least in our market, I sell homes all the time through FaceTime or Zoom, and literally they show up to get the keys 3 months later from Germany or something. I'm like, here's your house that you bought last month. Yeah.
Crazy to think about. Yeah.
And that didn't happen 10 years ago or 15, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so why, if your brokerage is still operating like it did 20 years ago, you have to look at it and go, what position am I going to be in 5 to 10 years when the industry has completely changed, and or am I going to be left in the wind? I think that's really the biggest advice I could give on it.
Evolve or get left behind.
Evolve or get left behind. And yeah, that's the thing, there won't be enough room for everyone. Like the millennials these days are not going to respond off of mail outs, mailers and flyers and
No, we throw them away.
No,
Easy.
it's all right. It's if you're not on TikTok and social media and all that different stuff, like you're already behind the curve.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. And Peter, as part of the EXP iconing experience, you have to give back to the culture. So what is it that you do? Do you coach? Do you mentor? Do you teach lessons?
Yeah, so I'm in the mentor program, which is really great. I looked at it as like, well, I was already started a team, so I started a very small baby team. Like everyone was brand new out of school, and I was like, all right, we're doing this. Like I'm going to teach you everything I know and try to just like mass download. And so it's kind of fun. My brother is one of our agents. He moved up from Texas here last year, and
Wow.
so I got to work with them and train them kind of all the way through like finishing real estate school. But the mentor program was a way for me to kind of continue that because I was already doing it. And I said, why don't we do, if I can help one or two people every quarter that are new into the industry. I just got a new gentleman the other day that's like literally his license hasn't come off the printer yet.
Wow.
And he's like, what do I do? I'm like, oh man, there's so much. Like, we'll get you started. But so that's what I enjoy doing. It is probably, if you're looking at the Icon program and you're looking at the different ways that you have to give back, and there's like 4 or 5 different opportunities, it is probably the most taxing. I'll be honest. Like the mentorship it's a lot of work and a lot of time and patience, but the reward is there. And then you build some really great relationships with people that are new into the industry. And so my hope is that kind of 5 or 6 years from now, like, there's going to be these newer agents out there that are writing these great offers and doing these things. I'm like, oh, I helped them do that. I had that relationship with them,
Yes.
So.
That's awesome. And it seems like you have your heart in the right place of wanting to help people. That's kind of the running theme here at EXP is that you learn, you earn, and then you return. Give back to the culture, teach, mentor, whatever that takes. And so I think you are, a perfect spirit for EXP, Peter.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk on? I've asked all my questions. It's been a 20-minute podcast. It's been a really solid show.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. I enjoy it. I say just keep on hustling with it. EXP is awesome. I love every minute of it. And, that's an evolving world that we live in with real estate. Our market here's been a market that we haven't ever seen before. So we're in like new territory here. I don't know other markets in Arizona, Texas, maybe they've experienced this craziness, but for us, it's totally new. And I'd say any new agents, like stay on the forefront, stay out there, engage. One thing I've been having my new team members do is if they're not writing a ton of offers and in the market every day, I tell them, like, go find a listing that sold in 24 hours that had 8 or 9 offers on it. Call the listing agent, just be like, hey, how did that work out? Like, what did you get? Yeah. What was the negotiating? What offers did you get? Was it cash? Was it this? And I said, just learn. And like, you start to see little trends and bits and pieces because our market here evolves on a weekly basis pretty much. I mean, it is that crazy. Like 1 week we're, selling things at 98% value. Next week we're like 50,000 over asking. And it just, our inventory is so shaky and it's so volatile that all it takes is, 50 to 60 homes to sell, and then boom, we have a shortage, and you're like, oh my gosh, and so, just get out there in the market and study it. I would definitely say one thing that I know KW preaches a lot, and it's been like a 2 or 3 year class is anticipate the change. There's going to be a shift, if you will.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen that. We just seen a lot of chaos. But always be prepared for it to change and then figure out if it changes, what's going to be my new focus? Am I going to revert back to this? Like always be willing to change because what you're doing today definitely isn't going to work forever. And that's the biggest thing I could preach to our team is, hey, it's cool that clients are calling you to go look at houses, but it could just go off like a light switch. And then you've got to be out there calling them to try to get them to go look at houses. And so don't build your business around what's working now, because it will only last so long. That's my
Right.
opinion. But yeah.
You're so right, Peter. And great note to end it off of. Evolve or get left behind. Always be learning. Use your tools. Lean into your mentors and be prepared for what tomorrow brings, because you just never know.
You never know. Yeah, that's it.
Are you going to be in Orlando and Vegas for the EXP Con and shareholders?
So we're not going to be able to make shareholders. I have a baby girl due here that's in about 5 weeks, and so we're going to be a little busy. But definitely going to be trying to make EXP Con this year. I've been a couple of times. I love it. It's definitely highly recommended. I've never made a shareholder summit in person, which is unfortunate. I did the virtual one the last 2 years, but maybe eventually. Orlando and Anchorage is about as far as you can go. So it's a little bit of a commitment. But I think maybe next year we'll get down there and enjoy some beach time.
Okay, awesome. Well, congratulations on the baby girl. I'm going to make sure to friend you on socials so that I can keep up with you. And if we both make it to EXPCon, we'll have to meet up.
Yes, absolutely. I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter.
Bye-bye. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.